The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.
Welcome to the show. Excellent show today, if I do say so myself, Lewis. Usually coming into the show, I think it's like mediocre at best, but I actually am behind today's program.
That's good. It makes it more exciting to be here.
I know it does, yeah, which is always my goal. Welcome to everybody who's live with us today, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, including everybody from the We Survive Bush, You'll Survive Obama Facebook page, and the I Love It When I Wake Up in the Morning and Barack Obama is President Facebook page. Remember yesterday when I talked to you about that Exxon Mobil oil spill taking place down in Arkansas, played the video of just driving down a neighborhood and seeing just oil gushing and dead birds covered in oil? Well, it's very disappointing to have to say this, but given the amount of control that lobbyists and corporations have over our government, I'm not really surprised to have to tell you that, as Think Progress is reporting, Exxon's duck-killing pipeline is not going to have to pay taxes to the oil spill cleanup fund. Why not? Because of a technicality, Lewis. Yes, lobbyists really are worth their weight in gold.
The good ones, David, the good ones are, I don't know. They're like divine beings.
They really are, yeah, to big corporations. Exxon has confirmed that the pipeline which spilled was carrying low-quality Wabasca heavy crude oil from Alberta. Now, this oil is coming from this controversial tar sands area, and heavy crude oil is strip mined or basically boiled loose from the dense underground formations which have large amounts of bitumen. And the oil is very thick. It needs to be diluted with lighter fluids in order to get it to flow through the pipeline. Now, there's a 1980 law, and this is just infuriating. A 1980 law ensures that diluted bitumen is not classified as oil, and companies transporting it in pipelines like this one do not have to pay into the Federal Oil Spill Liability Trust Fund. So other conventional crude producers pay 8 cents a barrel to make sure that the fund always has money to help the cleanups because inevitably, Lewis, there are spills, as we know.
Right.
However, not going to happen with Exxon because by the letter of the law, they are not carrying something which is classified as oil, even though we all know that it is. It's crude oil that has been mined from the tar sands in Alberta. Very straightforward. So Oil Change International put out a statement, and they said, the great irony of this tragic spill in Arkansas is that the transport of tar sands oil through pipelines in the U.S. is exempt from payments into the Oil Spill Liability Trust Fund. Exxon, like all companies shipping toxic tar sands, doesn't have to pay into the fund that will cover most of the cleanup costs for the pipeline's inevitable spills. We talk about free markets and talking about what is and isn't a free market and what is and isn't government involvement in business. Here we have a situation where a for-profit company is going to get the benefit of this trust fund administered by the government and presumably funded by for-profit corporations without having paid into it. Talk about free market capitalism, Lewis.
They really have it good.
They really do.
Yeah.
And imagine, by the way, when we talk about libertarian theory and kind of the libertarian side of the Republican Party, if Rand Paul or Ron Paul were president or overseeing these types of things, Natan, we'd be even worse off.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, really, they got off on a technicality, as you said. If you want to avoid this, you need to actually push politicians to pass laws that get serious on this, or be able to have the federal authority to step in and force them to pay. But obviously, that's more government.
It's right. It's more government, and it's not what the lobbyists were able to work out in 1980 for the oil industry.
This is how it happens. Just little laws that get snuck in here and there over the course of 100 years.
Right.
I mean, what does it add up to? It adds up to these companies basically not having to pay any time.
Hundreds of billions of dollars saved is what it adds up to.
Tons of tax breaks. Yeah.